And this is Valley Talk, and a very good morning. Glad to have you with us today. I'm Dave Adams here in the Valley Talk studios in Albany. Not quite so sunny today, but you know, summer's coming, and we're just very glad that you're with us on the show today. As always, we're going to be giving away a $10 gift certificate to Quiznos here in Albany, located next to Novak's Restaurant and also next to the former G.I. Joe Sporting Goods location. Simply get your entry in. You can email it to me, Dave at KGAL.com, or call the station at 451-KGAL or 926-KGAL. 926-KGAL, 451-KGAL, or Dave at KGAL.com. Put Quiznos Taste on Us on the entry, and at the end of the show, in about 55 minutes, we're going to draw somebody's name out of the hat, and somebody is going to get a $10 gift certificate for Quiznos, because the taste is on us. Thanks to Dale and the crew at Quiznos for being a part of the Valley Talk family, and so you can use that for chips, drinks, whatever, and have lunch on us. Okay? So get those submissions coming in right now. We have 2 items on the show, and then we're going to be talking to you a little bit about tomorrow's show. Today on the show, here in the studios right now, we have Monica Hall and Joan Ruekauf, and they are from Willamette Community Bank. Thank you for being with us, Joan. We've been trying to book this show for quite a while. We bumped you because there was way back when there was a shooting incident. We had to rearrange the guests because that was topical news, and so we appreciate you being flexible and rescheduling. And Monica Hall is also with us today. We said that we were going to get Monica to say something on the radio. So
I said I'd say yes or no.
Yes or no answers. Okay. Second half of the show, we're going to be talking about the Salem Pops. Now, the Salem Pops, backed by popular demand, Mike Strickland. And that's going to be coming up this Saturday, March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the historic Elsinore Theater in Salem. And that'll be the topic of the second half of the show today. Tomorrow on Valley Talk, we are going to be talking to Albany Mayor Sharon Canopa, and she's going to be talking about why she opposes the measures that are being proposed strongly by Tom Cordier. Of course, you heard him just the other day here on Valley Talk saying why he is proposing those measures, and you're going to hear Sharon's position as why she is opposing those measures. Now, we recorded an interview this morning that's going to be on the second half of the show today. There is a Christian pastor from Boise, Idaho, that has been jailed in Iran for 8 years because of his Christian faith. It's one of the most deadly, dangerous prisons in Iran. We talked to the American Center for Law and Justice this morning in a pre-recorded interview, and also with the pastor's wife. And we're going to be having that interview replayed on the second half of Valley Talk tomorrow. Very interesting interview. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up tomorrow on Valley Talk. So thank you for being with us today. And Joan Ruekauf, thank you for being with us on Valley Talk.
Thank you for having me.
So you are the interim CEO.
Yes.
And you are the chief operating officer when you're not. So you're kind of wearing 2 hats today.
Yeah, you got it.
Chief operating officer, if people don't know what a COO does, what do you do?
Basically make sure and manage and run the operations, daily operations throughout the bank. So not just a branch, but the entire bank, ensuring that compliance is met in the branches. IT is part of that. HR falls under my hat as well. Lots of stuff going on. Just about everything, but maybe the credit part.
So you're kind of like the principal. You kind of make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All righty. You've been the interim CEO since December. Mm-hmm. Do you want the job?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't
know I was going to ask you that one, did you?
That's okay. Certainly, if the board decided that I was qualified for the job, I would love to take it on. We have a great staff at the bank. They have supported me through this entire time. I think that they enjoy working at the bank and making it succeed, watching it succeed, and so I would love to be a part of that success. I will be, no matter what, in my chief operations role, but I'd love to take it on.
So what do you like about Willamette Community Bank? You've been there for how long?
I've been there for almost 3 years.
What do you like about it?
Well, I've been in banking 20 years this year, and the difference is, I started out with what we would term right now as one of the big box banks, and sort of changed the way that I looked at banks, going to more of a regional bank and now to a small community bank. What I love about it is the focus on the community. I like being a bigger part of the picture. And what's nice is we've got, I think right now, 23 employees throughout the entire bank, and they all get a say. I like that. At some level or another, we value their opinion. I really like that. I like being a part of the senior management team and making it run. That's why I've always chosen operations. I get to actually make it run.
You get to drive the bus.
I do. I get to make sure that everything's working correctly and that the bus is going forward. So I like that. And in this particular bank, we just have a great team, and it's fun to work with and work for, along with a very supportive board. And so it just all clicks. It's a great place to be right now.
Now, what is the difference between a community bank? Now, we've talked about big box banks, like you have your Wells Fargo, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, and so on and so forth. I got a whole list of them. But you also have banks that are called community bank, like Willamette Community Bank, where it's actually part of the name. So why are you different? And go ahead.
Well, I think we're different. You know, when you go from bank to bank, you are going to find the same products, possibly the same services. They may differ from bank to bank and those types of things. But the difference between community banks and maybe a Wells Fargo or a U.S. is we are really there for the community and with the community. The community built us. We are nothing without the community. So we give a lot back in the way of dollars, of course, just like any bank. But all of our officers are board members on different boards throughout the community, like United Way, Habitat for Humanity, the CAP program, things like that. We take pride in making sure that we give back in our time, in our money, in our volunteerism, all of those things. So we actually put a community involvement committee together this year to really examine what are we doing out there, where can we be of more help, what can we support, and really getting everyone involved from our customer service representatives all the way up to the CEO. We think it's important. So I think that's what really separates us. It's a priority.
Are things improving out there as far as the overall climate, the economy?
They are.
Why do you say that?
Slowly.
Slowly.
From a bank's perspective, the reason I can say it is because I can see what's coming in the doors every day. And what I'm seeing is a renewed effort to get business going again. People aren't as defeated as they were maybe 4 or 5 years ago when you'd walk into a bank and it didn't matter if you had a plan and you had the backing, you maybe couldn't get it there. What we do is we want you to come even just with the plan, and we're going to help you get it going no matter what. And what I'm seeing lately is qualified applicants, qualified plans coming through the door that we're able to help and help the community grow. So that's why I say, yes, it's definitely on the uptick. And then, of course, you can look at all of these statistics out there. Unemployment is improving slowly again, but surely it is improving, and we're a part of that. So we're ready to lend. We're ready to hear your plan. We want you to come in and see us. No matter if it's just on a napkin at the moment, we're going to help you develop it if we can.
Consumer confidence is one of the things that's often quoted in the news stories about the economy, whether it's going up or down. When people come in and as you talk to them, you go to the restaurants, coffee shops, whatever, and people are just talking to you, are they more confident today, you think?
I think so. I think when we look back at the Great Recession and the big financial decline, for a while there, banks were to blame, and then it was hard when you're working for a community bank because really the community banks weren't the ones to blame, or even the regional banks. It was hard to distinguish between that. And I can remember being in a lot of conversations saying, okay, let me tell you the difference of what I do versus maybe what happened at the bank that you were at and you didn't feel real good. So there is a difference. And I think telling that story over and over, people are learning that someone like us at Willamette Community Bank, we just don't fall in that line where the financial crisis happened. But overall, of course, regulations are helping that. Lots of consumer protection out there, which we all fall in line with, and we support and making changes to make sure that consumers are protected, businesses are protected, and I think consumer confidence is coming up. Absolutely.
Speaking of that, we were talking about interest rates, and I'm sure the bank would like to see the interest rates better, but it's kind of a buyer's market out there right now. If you're looking for money to invest in, if you're your widget factory, if you say, I want to make a widget, and I've got this plan that's been sitting on the shelf, and interest rates are pretty good, aren't they?
They are good. Right now, if you've got, again, like I said, the plan on the napkin, now's the time to really see if you can develop that. Interest rates are low. The forecast is that they are going to stay low. So if you have not refinanced that mortgage, if you have not taken your business plan seriously, now's the time, because we have money to lend. We want to see you.
What about home loans? As far as refi?
Yeah, like I said, if you haven't refied, now's the time. The forecast, again, is that rates will start to go up in 2015. And as we see the economy improve, that could change. We could see that change to 2014. You're just not sure, but I think it will stay on track for that 2015 date. And that's just what the Fed is telling us. That's not really from us, from the bank. That's just the Fed. So now's the time. If you've been thinking about it, now's the time.
One of the things that we want to talk about is your 10-year anniversary is coming up.
Yes.
When's the big day? When's the day? Do you know what the day is?
Yeah, well, May 5th is the open date for the bank, 2003. So we've got different things planned throughout the year that we'll do. I'm hoping to put some sort of picnic together at each of the branches. We have 2 branches in Albany and in Lebanon. And then we're trying to plan a night at the fair, where we want to invite some customers and have our employees there as well. But just lots of fun stuff this year. Tonight we're having our Founders Day celebration, so we'll be welcoming our founders.
Where's that at?
It's at the Albany location. So that will be fun. You don't get to meet all of the founders sometimes. I haven't yet in my 3 years I've been there. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. I think it'll be a great time.
So what's going to happen at the Founders Celebration? The actual people that started the bank will be there?
You got it.
How many were
visionaries. 59 is on my list. Yeah, and that's family. So it could be husband and wife or families.
Can you give us a little bit of the history? Now, for those of us that just moved into the area, I've been here for going on 2 years now. Willamette Community Bank was started by...
Well, basically by a group of people that wanted a community bank. I believe at the time there was a bank, Lynn Benton Bank, that was, I believe, bought out. I don't know if it happened at that time or not, or shortly thereafter. But the community got together and they wanted to have a community bank, somewhere where the community could go to get their needs met. And so this group of people put the money together and made it happen. And so far, it's a great bank. It's a really good place to be.
We're going to talk more about Willamette Community Bank in just a moment. And then the second half of the show, don't forget Salem Pops. We'll be talking about that coming up this weekend. We have our guest in the studio on that. And kind of a personal note, this has been kind of a fun week here on Valley Talk, because yesterday, it feels like kind of like old home week for me, because yesterday we had the former mayor of Lebanon, Mr. Ken Toom, in, and he was from Nyssa, Oregon. And Joan, I just found out, is from Weiser.
Got it.
So if you're from Southwest Idaho, Eastern Oregon, like I am, you'll know Weiser, Old Time Fiddle Festival.
Yep.
And then, of course, Nyssa is sugar beet capital of the world, Thunder Egg capital of the world.
Yes, you got it.
There you go. So Joan hails from Weiser, Weiser Wolverines.
Weiser Wolverines. You were from Payette.
Yes.
And they were our rival.
Arch rivals.
Yes, Payette Pirates. Yes, our rival. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of heat going on between you and I right now.
Yeah, there's a little Civil War action in the studios. Yeah, Corvette, the Ducks and the Beavers. Hey, you got nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing on that one.
Payette and Weiser goes way back, so we promise to keep it civil here in the Civil War. So this is Valley Talk, and don't forget to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us, Dave at KGAL.com, or call the station at 926-KGAL, 451-KGAL. And during the break here, Joan and I are going to arm wrestle, and we'll see if Weiser or Payette is the best one. Go Big Red. Okay. Well, Weiser was red too,
We were
right?
red too.
Okay. Well, so we win either way. This is Valley Talk. We will be right back. This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Glad you're back with us. And we had a tie here on the arm wrestling between the Payette Pirates and the Weiser Wolverines. Joan Ruekauf, of course, representing Weiser. the Wolverines.
That's right.
And myself representing the Payette Pirates. It's been a long time since I've talked about high school. Okay, well, thank you for being with us on the show today. Monica Hall, we want to talk to you a little bit. In fact, this, I understand, was your idea to have a community involvement committee where you can have a committee of people figure out ways to get the bank more involved in the community. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I've been with the bank since September, and when I started, I was looking for ways to get involved in the community, and so I was asking around and finding that all of the employees are involved, in one way or another, whether through volunteer work or on boards of various organizations. And then I was as I was out in the community, I was receiving requests for sponsorships, donations, and volunteer support. And so I think it was in December or January. Joan and I sat down and we talked about it, and I thought, well, why don't we just get a group of people together within the bank? So someone from the lending division, myself from the branch, Joan, we've got someone from another branch, and so we'll pull some people together, and as the requests come in for sponsorships and donations and volunteer work, we'll visit it as a group to make sure that our dollars are well allocated, that everything gets taken care of in time, and that we provide our employees with time to volunteer. And so we actually have about 20 requests per month that we look at this point in time.
And as a true manager, I said, that sounds great. Why don't you head that
right.
up?
I said,
That's a great idea. Why don't you go do that?
Yeah.
This also, I would think, it would help employee morale when the employees working at the bank actually see the bank actually roll up their sleeves and start moving the bales and making things happen. It's got to be good.
Yeah, it's good. And then, for the branch staff, because I have a staff of 4 that are on the teller line and in new accounts, they haven't had the opportunity to get away from the teller line. So by knowing what's coming up, I'm able to accommodate them staffing-wise so that they can get out of the bank and volunteer as well.
Okay. Joan, I understand that you're interested in doing more construction lending. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. We have a great product for residential construction. That's another way to know that maybe the economy is on the uptick because people are starting to build again. That's always a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, while rates are low, if you're thinking about putting that building project together for a home, I run into a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I bought a lot 10 years ago and we're thinking about going ahead and building our home on it, our dream home. Now's the time. It's an easy product to get through. You still obviously have to qualify, but and then we can turn around and have it permanently financed through our mortgage department. So it's a great way to go. And
what are rates like right now, if we could get kind of a ballpark?
You're going to put me on the spot with rates.
I was wondering about that. But they're pretty good. They're very good.
They're very good. They're at an all-time low. So, like I said, now's the time. Rates will vary day to day, and they can also kind of vary depending on what you're trying to put together. So it's hard to just quote rates out there. But, our prime rate, which is something we base, all banks usually base rates off of, hasn't moved in years. I want to say it's sitting at a 3.25 or 3.5, something like that. So
really low.
Yeah, it's really low. So if you're going to take advantage of things, now's the time. We have a great construction lender, Ruth De La Rosa. She does a great job with her customers when they're building homes, especially new homes, new customers to the building process. She's experienced. She knows builders. She knows how the process needs to work. So she's a great person to work with. We just interviewed a couple who told us that it was like having, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but it's like having their mom with them, because she'd help them with the decisions, and that's the way to go. But maybe you could look at this too, and stuff like that. So they really appreciated that she was there, and they were new to the home buying and to construction. So.
I'll ask you, both of you, this question. Do you like seeing that very family-oriented kind of atmosphere? You mentioned they think of her as almost like mom.
Absolutely.
Do you like that atmosphere?
Absolutely. She knows her stuff. She's very business oriented. So to this young couple, it's what they needed. She's also very versatile, and as well as all of our lenders, where they wear their suits and they can talk the business and they know what they're talking about. They can talk construction to commercial, developers as well. So very versatile, very versatile. They are very knowledgeable in what they can do and who they can deal with. And I think that that's important, because community isn't just consumer, it's commercial, it's business, it's everything. So you need to have that.
You were mentioning about if you had a good idea on a napkin, and actually, literally, some people I'm sure come into the bank with a napkin. And what advice would you give to businesses, folks? We really want to help you with your idea, with your dream. We want to get you there, because you get there, we win, you win, the community wins. But here's some tips that you might want to think about as you're sketching things out on the napkin.
Right. So yes, we're a bank and we lend money and we help you manage your money, but we're also advisors. So when I say if you've got it on a napkin, bring it in, when I'm looking at that process, that could be a 12 to 18 month process where we don't even get to help you yet, but we get to advise you to go to this person to help develop your marketing plan. And here's a great CPA that can help you put the numbers together. And how about you talk to this attorney, because you're going to need to put some sort of business plan together for your corporation or whatever it may be. That's what we can offer. That's something that you usually don't get at the big box banks. That's putting a community to work and growing it.
It's amazing to me how many people start a small business without a business plan.
Yes.
And there's software out there, and the cool thing about going through a business plan is it makes you think about some of the things that you really need to think about now, before you've got, you've spent the money and have the liability out there and the bills are coming due, and it's like, oh, well, boy, we really didn't think about advertising.
Right.
We didn't think about this. We didn't think about payroll taxes or whatever. So I guess the advice I would have is, man, and you can get business plan software very inexpensively.
Yeah, you can.
And it steps you through the process. So
also,
go ahead.
at the OSU and some local companies do offer, I think you can get it free through OSU. You can get those kinds of services for free, where they will help you put together your business plan or a marketing plan or something of that nature. So there are definitely resources out there, and we can help you find those resources as well to get you going. Usually the customers with the napkin are the dreamers. We like those. We may have to, pull them down from the clouds sometimes and help them see what needs to be done, but those are great customers, and we love that process. So
they're passionate.
They're passionate. It's fun to deal with those kinds of people.
You know what they say? Do what you love, and the money will follow.
You got it.
And if you do it right, man, you're going to have a ball.
You are.
Would you rather do something you really enjoy doing, or would you rather be stuck at a job you hate? Well, now might be a good time to invest and take advantage of some of those low interest rates.
Yeah.
So, Joan and Monica, anything you want to add in closing?
Happy 10-year anniversary
Happy
to Willamette Community Bank.
Okay, tonight is Founders Day celebration.
Tonight is Founders Day celebration. We're welcoming all the founders. We can't wait to meet them all. It's going to be a great little party.
Is it open to anybody who wants to come in and say hi?
Just the founders. This is just for them.
Okay.
Just for them.
All right.
We have other stuff for everyone else. So.
Okay. Cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
Cookies on Friday.
Cookies on Friday.
Don't forget
hot coffee every day.
There you go. Monica Hall, Joan Ruekauf, it's been a pleasure to have you on Valley Talk today. Come back and we can talk more about banking and Weezer and so on and so forth.
That's right.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll have a rematch.
There you go. Maybe I'll win next time. And coming up next, we are going to be talking about the Salem Pops, backed by popular demand, Mr. Mike Strickland. And don't forget to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us, Dave at KGAL.com. Or the phone number you can call is 926-KGAL, 451-KGAL. And we will be right back. This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams, and we are so glad to have you with us today. We have Hale Thornburgh of Salem Pops in there, and it's going to be a great event coming up this Saturday. It's going to be Saturday, March 2nd, 7:30 p.m. at the historic Elsinore Theater in Salem. Hale, thank you for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
On Valley Talk. So let's talk about Mike Strickland. Now, Mike is very popular, backed by popular demand, in fact, is the name of the show. Tell us about the show this Saturday.
Okay, the show this Saturday is, just like that, it's going to feature Mike Strickland. He's appeared with us a couple of times before, once as a teaser a couple of years ago, and then he had his own evening, a Pops evening with Mike Strickland, where he laid out some of his incredible talents for the audience, and everybody just loved him and just raved about his performance. So when the opportunity arose to get him back again, we did it. And so he's going to be there Saturday night playing some of his own original music, some of his arrangements of tunes that other people might already know, and some other treats. As I understand it, he's going to bring his daughter Elizabeth along for a couple of numbers. He did that previously, and that made people's socks roll up and down. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch them work together. So that's going to be happening this Saturday. Starts at 7:30.
So the type of music, it's going to be contemporary music. We're talking about pops.
Well, the pops music that the orchestra plays is just that. We deal with music themes from Broadway shows, movies, that sort of thing. Original, we play marches, we play some jazz. Not really heavy stuff. We're not into Beethoven's Ninth Symphony or anything like that. Even though this time we're playing Beethoven's Egmont Overture, which is a popular type of music. It was written for Goethe's Egmont, a play about a 16th century, I think it was, 16th century Dutch count who was opposed to the French Empire's takeover, fought it futilely, but the music that Beethoven wrote for that came out to give this heroic winner take all no matter who loses type of thing. And Goethe said that Beethoven captured the essence of it. It's a popular type of music, even though it's full orchestra with all of the accoutrements thereof.
Great show. It's Mike Strickland. In fact, I have 2 tickets here. In fact, we've got 2 tickets we're going to give away today.
Excellent.
And 2 tickets we'll give away on tomorrow's Valley Talk show. And just send me an email. The first person that sends me an email right now, dave@kgal.com, and put Salem Pops on the subject line of the email. Or let's say you're driving down the road and you can get in trouble if you try to do that while you're driving, so we don't want to do that. So you can call the station, make sure it's hands-free. We want to keep everybody out of trouble here. 926 KGAL, 451 KGAL, say you want to be put into the drawing for Salem Pops. And I have a pair of tickets here. First one that calls, and we'll note the time that you called and see if the phone callers beat the emailers and see who wins the tickets. So we got two giveaways going on today. We have, of course, Quiznos Taste on Us and Salem Pops.
Splendid.
So, and you have to sign. If you want both, you have to send 2 emails or when you get them on the phone, tell them that you're interested in both drawings.
Okay. What else can I tell you about?
So talk to us about the Salem Pops Orchestra, a little bit about the history there. What are the Salem Pops and how did they get started?
It's 1962. A hotelier named Del Milne, who'd worked in the music business and the hotel industry in Portland, came to Salem and was asked in 1962 to put some music together for the Assistance League, for a program, a fundraiser for them. He brought a bunch of folks together. They rehearsed, was well received, and that was the beginning of the Salem Pops Orchestra. Last year was our 50th year, continuously performing in the Salem area. We even have 1 member left who was in that original group.
Really? Who is that? What do they play?
His name is Richard Barber, Judge Richard Barber, and he plays saxophone with the orchestra now. He started as a clarinet player, but he's been there. This is his 51st year playing with the Salem Pops. I'm a relative newcomer. I've just been there for about 25 years, maybe 26, something like that.
Oh, you're just a newcomer.
Yeah, just a snot-nosed kid, so to speak.
You have to hang around for another 20 years to get
right. If they can handle that, that's fine. I play timpani in the orchestra, so I get to stand in back and hit things and have a good time.
Mike,
Go ahead.
Mike Strickland, Popular Demand, recreating great movements and moments from the movies, Broadway, and jazz. So you're going to have a mixture of all of those in the concert?
Yes, we are. One of the first things we're doing that he's worked with is the theme from Love Story, which you might remember the book or the movie, which is one of the most, I consider it one of the sappiest books and movies I'd ever seen, but it was a great love story. I'm prejudiced. The music, however, is overwhelmingly fine, and he put together an arrangement of the themes from Love Story that is just excellent. Everybody will enjoy it.
Nice thing about that music is it really flows. That
Oh, it
Love
does.
Story music just has a flow to it.
And much of the original stuff that he's doing is also in that style of a heavy-duty, just flowing. It's emotional. It has a marvelous mood to it. But he also can throw in some very dramatic type of music. He grew up in Mississippi.
Mike Strickland.
Mike Strickland grew up in Mississippi. And he has all that background in jazz, blues, and boogie-woogie.
Oh, yeah.
It's just great stuff. My favorite album of his is Mississippi Boy, that he plays all kinds of boogie-woogie on that. And he's going to be doing some of that on this show also. One of the numbers he is going to play with his daughter Elizabeth is called Flying Fingers. And that is one of the fastest pieces of music you'll ever hear. Pardon me, it's Dizzy Fingers by Zess Confrey. 4 hands, 1 keyboard. They interchange on that. I've seen it before. It's like a great routine of incessant music that just makes your socks roll up and down when you hear it.
So you have 2 people, 4 hands, 1 keyboard, and they're playing the same keyboard.
Right. They rotate around on the bench.
This could be fun.
It is. It's a visual and musical treat. When they played it before, the audience didn't know whether to clap, yell, applaud, or do all at the same time. They'll have that. Plus, the final number he's doing with us, as scheduled, is one called Anthem, which is his own arrangement. It's a driving piece that has a heavy rhythmic beat to it, where his piano fills in behind a rather solid march-like background that the orchestra plays, and then he fills in all the piano riffs in between. And it's a toe tapper. And everything he does is stylistic, it's well conceived, and well executed. And that makes a difference in all of the music he does.
Talk to me about your new conductor, Ike Nail.
A very, very interesting guy. He came to us from, he's been in Salem for about 8 years. He started out in Texas, graduated from, got his doctorate in conducting from the University of Texas. Get this is the thesis that his doctorate was on. The concept of developing variations as a means of providing unity and variety in Arnold Schoenberg's Variations for Military Band, Opus 43.
This from a guy from Texas?
This from a guy from Texas. But
I didn't hear any drawls in there.
Wait till you hear him. If he announces something, his drawl is wonderful. He is an incredible musician. He's taught at the college level and at the high school level. He's been, I was going to say instrumental in developing the programs at both Sprague High School and West Salem in Salem, but is now the full-time musical director for bands and orchestra at Western Oregon University. Go ahead.
You don't think of a Texas boy being very much into orchestra music or classical music.
But he is. He was a preparatory conductor for the Dallas Wind Symphony for a while. He's the one that got the band ready. That's the Wind Symphony as a band. Got it ready for guest conductors and did their rehearsing for them. In addition, he's been involved in bands in Midland, Texas, and in California at Cal Northridge. So he's been He's well-traveled, well-educated, and presents his knowledge of a wide variety of music through, as far as we're concerned, the Salem Pops.
Now, if somebody wants to attend the Salem Pops concert this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at the historic Elsinore Theater,
yes,
great venue, where do they buy tickets? How much are tickets if they don't win these two?
If they're unfortunate enough to not win the tickets, they can buy them at the door. They're $15 for general admission, $18 for mezzanine reserved. That's the section, not individual seats. Good seating, good sound from there. Children, kids, 12 and under, are free when accompanied by an adult, and any student can get in with an ASB card, student buddy card, for $5. And they're available at the door.
Great fun, great value there, and it's this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at the historic Elsinore Theater in Salem.
Yes.
Hale Thornburgh is with us today talking about the Salem Pops Orchestra event coming up with Mike Strickland, back by popular demand. It's this Saturday. More about that on Valley Talk when we continue. Don't forget to sign up for these 2 tickets. I have 2 tickets to the Salem Pops this Saturday, and then also have our usual giveaway for the $10 gift certificate from Quiznos. Quiznos in Albany, right next to Novak's Restaurant and right across the parking lot from the former G.I. Joe Sporting Goods location. Those 2 things are on the block today, and somebody is going to win them in the next 10 minutes, maybe you. Dave at KGAL.com is where you can go to email us an entry, or you can call the station at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. And on that note, Valley Talk will continue in just a moment. And here we are. Okay. We're back.
Wonderful.
It's like the old comedy routine of, let's take this commercial break. And the comedian comes on and says, break.
Yes.
And you're back. And here we are.
Yeah, okay.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes.
Speaking of the crowd going wild, we have Hale Thornburgh here with the Salem Pops Orchestra celebrating their 51st season. How many people are involved in Salem Pops? It's an all-volunteer
organization, and there are about 55 of us right now. It varies between 50 and 60, depending on people's time schedules, that sort of thing. We meet every Monday night for rehearsals, and we perform 4 concerts per year. 2 in the fall, in the spring, and then 1 just before summer.
And you play timpani.
I play timpani. In addition to that, I also run for the last few years, have run our scholarship program.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we developed that starting 9 years ago, when we decided that a lot of us had been through a lot of music when we were young, and they kind of had to go earn a living doing something relatively honest, but stayed with music over the years. We like that. So we came up with the idea of a scholarship program to encourage young people, high school age people, to continue their music education via music camps, or if they're going on to college, we provided a $1,000 scholarship to a graduating senior going on to study music at an institution. This year we just completed our 8th competition for the college scholarship, where we had 5 young musicians from the area vying for that $1,000 prize. Over the years, we have given out over $15,000 in scholarship awards, either in cash for the graduating seniors or for tuition assistance to students going on to a music camp to hone their skills there, meet other young people doing the same type of things, learn from the professionals in the field who work with their instruments or their skills, and continue to develop them, primarily so that young folks stay interested in music, not just to be a performer in high school or a performer in college, but to participate in community organizations such as the Salem Pops Orchestra, to keep their finger in the musical world. So that's one of the things that we've really enjoyed for the last 8 years.
I was going to say, that's got to make you feel good. You're passing the baton, as it were, to the next generation.
Right. And this last weekend, we had our finals for the $1,000 scholarship go on to college. You had 5 participants. It was the best concert in Salem over the weekend. I guarantee it. It was great.
So do they play for their supper, so to speak?
They do.
They have to play and compete for the scholarship.
They do. The first step they have to do is to submit an application which is scored. How well they complete it, answer the questions, get recommendations from teachers, from parents, provide a high school transcript so we see what their grades are. That is scored. Then they have to take step 2, which is the musical audition. They perform live for adjudicators, just like they do for the state competitions. Then they have to have an interview with a panel. I like to think of them as the hooded inquisition, but they're not.
Oh,
they just ask questions, what does music mean to you? Was there an aha moment in your life when music suddenly became very important to you? And what do you plan to do with music in your future? The compilation of all of those scores gives us a total, and the young person with the highest total wins the scholarship. This year, we had 5 youngsters. Let me read you their names.
Sure.
There was an Abby Brokamp, who went to North Salem High School, still goes to North Salem, and she's a soprano. Wonderful voice, did very well. Tyler Goldman, a violin from Sprague High School, also did well. A guy from here, from Albany, Kodiak Hast, is a baritone, goes to Crescent Valley High School. He did well also. And there was a flutist from South Salem High, Sierra Schmelzer, just another fantastic performance. But the winner was a young pianist named Ariana Parks. She actually goes through the Oregon Connections Academy, which is an online scholastic. It's
Really?
accredited in the high school program.
Okay.
So she qualified, and she'll be a name that'll be recognized somewhere along the line as a
What
pianist.
a beautiful name for somebody in music,
Right.
Ariana.
Now,
Ariana.
yes, if you're doing crosswords or announcing a public event, it's just great. All 5 of those young people will be invited to perform with the Salem Pops on our May 4th concert, which will be in Salem. It's going to be entitled Catch a Rising Star. And all 5 of those young people will be invited to perform with us. Don't know what they'll be playing, but that's going to be a fine concert. A great year-end tribute to music for young people and for us old folk. But, of course, they'll be announced and presented to the audience this Saturday at, back by popular demand, Mike Strickland. He started as a young person. As a matter of fact, I think all of us started as a young person.
Way back when.
Way back when. But it's a treat for the Salem Pops to be able to do something like that and to encourage music in young folks who are, we hope, going to stay with it for the rest of their lives.
Interesting. What do you enjoy about the Salem Pops? You've been in there
I've been in there for a long time. It gives us old geezers a chance to perform music for an audience, to rehearse it, to retain our skills, and in some cases increase our skills. A venue where if we were just professional musicians, we wouldn't get to do it because most of us aren't that level of performer. But we do get to perform, we get to read, perform, and be part of fine music, whether it's from the world of entertainment, movies, Broadway plays, shows, the classical literature, popular literature, marches. We're doing, for instance, the Liberty Bell March. Think Monty Python. That's the theme music for Monty Python. And we're going to be doing the Stars and Stripes Forever, one of the greatest marches in the world.
John Philip Sousa.
You bet. 1897, the official March of the United States as of 1987, Act of Congress.
There we go. If people want to get involved in Salem Pops, are there? Do you have auditions? How do
they
people
do
get
have
involved?
auditions? We have a website, salempopsorchestra.org, and they can get a hold of us through that website, or they could drop in on one of our rehearsals at Walker Middle School in West Salem on Monday nights. We're always there, sawing away at whatever we're trying to learn. And they can check us out, talk to the director, Dr. Ike Nail, and make arrangements through them.
Is Ike Nail his real name?
No, it's James Isaac.
James Isaac.
James Isaac
That's his
Nail.
stage name.
Yeah,
Ike Nail.
Ike Nail. He's as a nail. He's a driving force in music.
Oh, there we go. Well, we were joking about your name.
Yes.
A moment ago. I think it's clean enough we can use it on the air. Hale Thornburgh.
Yes.
And you ran for office at one point.
Yes, I did. Years ago, when I was a junior in high school, 1959, I ran for office to become the Associated Student Body, the director, or what they call it, the athletics commissioner.
Okay.
And I ran for office under the slogan, "To hail with your vote."
To hail with your vote.
And I was told you couldn't do that. That's just not right. Well, it turned out I did do it. I was soundly defeated, but by a matter of fact, a guy that came to the Northwest and went to the University of Oregon named Dick Schwab, who now is known as Rick Schwab, but he beat me rather handily, as he did in other things like competing in the high jump at Mount Miguel High School in Spring Valley, California.
Okay. Looks like we are getting to the end of the show here. We do want to remind you about Salem Pops. We have 2 tickets to give away, and Dave at KGAL.com, or call the station 926-KGAL, 451-KGAL. Don't forget about the event. It is 7:30 p.m. this Saturday at the historic Elsinore Theater in Salem. Great event. Mike Strickland, backed by popular demand. Hale Thornburgh, thank you for being with us in Valley Talk.
Well, thank you for letting me be here.
This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have the mayor of Albany, Sharon Canopa, talking about her position on the Tom Courtier measures, and also the wife of a pastor that has been jailed in Iran. We're going to have her on the show tomorrow. Don't miss it. See you then.